Hello Ukulele Saz, welcome back to another video. This week we're diving into learning styles and finding out how you currently learn the ukulele and what you can do to tune in other learning styles so that you can really elevate your practice time, get in the zone, feel the music, feel the flow and really start to get grooving. If you really like this video, you can check out my Buy Me a Coffee page where each week we'll delve into a different topic or a different song. I'll share with you lots of different theory nuggets, as well as lots of things that you can do to take learning into your own hands, get curious and really take ownership of you and your ukulele journey. There's lesson materials, song sheets, live lessons and more, so don't forget to go and check that out. Buy me a coffee at Ukulele Saz. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel and get access to all of my videos, get up to date with all of my new releases. And you can also follow me on social media to keep up with my life as a ukulele teacher and artist in Glasgow, Scotland on Facebook and Instagram. So this week I want you to really think about your learning style. Now, you might think, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by learning style? But what I mean by learning style is about how you absorb information and how you understand things. Now, this might not be something that you think or know about straight away, so we are going to explore the different ones. But what I do encourage you to do today is to kind of tune in and become a little bit more aware of how you currently learn and think about how you can apply some of the other ways to learn to really elevate your practicing and really elevate how you actually learn things in general. And the hope is that this can be applied to other aspects of your life as well and not just the ukulele. So I tend to get people asking me a lot of the same questions, and a lot of this video has actually come from people asking me about strumming, because a lot of people tend to strum by feel and a lot of people tend to strum by looking at structure, which straight away indicates to me that people want the same they want the same outcome, the objective is the same, but the approach in which they get there is slightly different. And what I also know is that actually by having a combination of these practices and tuning into different things, then that will really, really help us, because we're finding lots of different, lots of different ways to absorb that information and learn from it. Let's take strumming naturally versus strumming by structure as an example. So somebody that strums naturally, they strum by feel. They tune their ears in and they listen to a song. And from what they hear, they then tend to replicate that because they can hear exactly what that sounds like and they can feel the music. These people also are probably more likely to get creative because they are judging what they're hearing and creating something themselves from that and then coming up with their own interpretation of it. So I think people that tend to do this when it comes to strumming are maybe a little bit open-minded to being creative. Now, I'm not putting people in a box, I'm not saying that's everybody, I'm just saying that's one option. People that tend to strum naturally also tend to kind of keep the beat, they've got their little metronome tapping away, so they're physically actually doing things quite a lot, they're trial and error, they make things happen. For those that are a bit more structured, that maybe don't have that natural ear, they like to see things written out in front of them, or they maybe like to write it out in a certain way that works for them. They like to read the music and see it there. And that's also absolutely fine. These people might tend to learn the breakdown of rhythm a little bit better. They might tend to follow instruction. It might be a little bit easier for them. But then they might struggle to hear something and replicate it. They might struggle to watch somebody do something and then replicate it. What is interesting is that everyone will have a slightly different approach and they'll have slightly different things that work. Some people just really might struggle to tune their ears in general. Some people might really need to see somebody do something and hear it at the same time, but might struggle to write it down. Some people might need to say it out loud and repeat back the information. It's really interesting because different things will tick for different people. Now, in music, the cool thing is it's actually possible to be able to do all of these. It's something that we need to practice, but it's something that I do believe really allows us to tune in. By tuning in and engaging all of our different learning styles, I think that we can be a little bit more focused. We will be paying attention a little bit more to what we're doing without being distracted. So what are these different learning styles? There's a couple that we're going to touch on today, and I'm going to show you also how you can actively engage all of these different types of learning styles as well. So the first one is hear it. Listening, using your ears. When you are listening to a song, see if you can listen for the strumming pattern. See if you can pick out a specific instrument. See if you can replicate what the person is doing. Give it a little go. If that's difficult for you, you will be out your comfort zone. But these are the types of things that you can do to listen. If you are following somebody, that you're maybe following your ukulele teacher, you maybe hear them playing a strumming pattern, and from what they've played, you repeat that back. So that's tuning your ears in. Also, there's other things that you can do to tune your ears in to help you learn, to help strengthen that skill. So if you are playing through a song and you're trying to memorise it, you might want to practice by listening to what you're playing, and if you make a mistake, using your ears to help you find what the correct chord is rather than look at the sheet. So these are all things that you can do by listening and hearing. The second one is see it. This is all about being visual. Some people like to physically see somebody doing something. I have a couple of students, in particular younger students and left-handed students. For some reason there seems to be a connect there. I have some students that will copy what I do. They'll see exactly what I do, and then they will replicate that because they have seen it, they've seen what's supposed to happen, and they do it that way. So they can see what's supposed to be done. I'm also going to tune that one and connect that one to reading and writing. A lot of people need to see what's written in front of them. They need to see maybe the chord written out like a pattern, because a lot of people connect with things through recognising patterns, and there are a lot of patterns in music. Some people might need to see a strumming pattern or a rhythm pattern written down so that they can see what exactly they're supposed to do. Is it down or is it up? So some people really like to engage with that side of things. This can be really good, especially if you're trying to read sheet music, if you're trying to understand how rhythm is broken down structurally, a bit more theoretically, then reading and writing can be a really, really good thing for that too. If you're trying to learn and memorise a song, I actually do recommend this style of learning, because what you can do is physically write out the pattern, and you can see it taken out of context of the song with the words. You can see the pattern just written out, visualise that and play that over and over, and it separates it from the rest of the song and allows you to really focus on that too. Say it. This is one that I think people miss out on quite a lot, but it's something that's probably one of the most obvious ones that I have noticed that gives the best results. When you say, if we use a strumming pattern for example, and we're playing down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. If you don't say down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, yes, you might get it right. But what I've noticed is people are more likely to get it right when they say it as they play it, which is I'm going to come on to soon. People feel a bit silly having to say something out loud, but when you are saying something, you're kind of distracting yourself from all the thoughts that go around your head, and you're focusing a little bit more on what the task is, and I think it can really help deepen and ingrain that understanding. What a lot of my students have started doing to help them practice is they copy what I say in the class. So for example, I'll go C, 2, 3, 4, D minor, 2, 3, 4, F, 2, C, 2, G, 2, 3, 4. And I'll repeat that again and again. And what people find is that when they go home and they say that, it really helps them to ingrain it and memorise it and learn from it too. So I think it's one that's often missed out on, and I do think it's really important. The last one is play it. Now, or do it. I always say, hear it, see it, say it, play it. So when you play it, you can play it like this. And a lot of time if you're playing, you might be reading what you're doing, you might be listening and trying to follow along and figure it out. Physically doing something or watching someone doing something, copying that back, doing it over and over, that's a great way to learn, because you're physically doing it and you're experiencing it for yourself. But what if I told you that while you are playing it and while you're doing it, you could actually tune in all of those other things that we have spoken about. Before you play it, listen to what it's supposed to sound like. close your eyes, really tune in, listen to it over and over again, see if you can hear it in your head. Read it, have it in front of you, see exactly what it looks like, see it written out in its structure, see the strumming pattern written out in its structure, maybe write it out beforehand so that you're engaged. And then while you practice it slowly, you're also going to say it, just to really engage everything. You've already engaged your eyes, you're engaging your ears, you're engaging your mouth by speaking, and then you're physically going to do it. Now, this might seem like a lot to do at once, but this is really going to help you focus and get in the zone. If you're someone that just listens and copies, actually by being able to read it as well and say it out loud, you're still working on the thing that's important. You're still learning in that way, but then you're also boosting your skills of learning in other ways as well. Because it is possible to learn how to learn things in other ways, if that makes sense. So if you're a natural oral learner, it is possible to develop the skill and being able to see things and learn that way by playing to your strengths. And the fact that you can engage all of these things at once just gives you more tools in your toolkit. So let's say one day you're trying to figure something out by ear because that's naturally how you do things, but you just can't quite get it. You've already built skills up in how to read something, how to write something, how to say something. So you can maybe tap into one of those learning styles to really help you actually figure it out and problem solve a little bit. So it's really just having more tools in your toolkit, playing to your strengths and being aware of the ones that you're good at, but also tapping into the ones that you're maybe not so good at as well, because you will start to develop in those areas too. As I said, I think when you do this, you're fully immersing yourself, you're getting rid of distractions, and it's really allowing you to get into the zone. This is particularly important when it comes to strumming and rhythm, especially for those that want to feel their strumming patterns. To feel a strumming pattern, you really have to be all in. To feel the music and feel the groove, you really have to be connecting everything. When you can connect what you're hearing, what you're seeing, what you're feeling, what you're saying, it's going to really help you start to understand things a little bit more and really just kind of be in the moment when it comes to trying to feel a song, feel the chord changes, feel the rhythm patterns. So what I would say is be aware of what and how you learn just now, and think about ways in which you can engage your other learning styles too. Have a think about which ones are a little bit weaker and think about how you can work on those and develop those also. This will be something that takes a little bit of time and you'll probably have to actively do it and really think about it at first. But once you get into the habit of tuning in all of your senses, then it is going to become a much easier process for you, and you'll find that over time you start to do this a little bit more naturally and it will become a lot easier. So let me know what learning style you naturally gravitate towards. Are you a visual? Are you an oral? Are you a writer? Do you say things? Do you need to do things? Tell me what one you naturally gravitate towards, and tell me what one you're going to work on a little bit more as well and how you're going to do that, because I'd love to hear from you. It's really interesting to me how people learn, what makes them tick, and I love to kind of take that information and help others really kind of feel a little bit more confident in how they approach learning things. There is going to be another video on examples of this, so we're going to take some examples of well-known songs and think about how we can tune in all of our senses to learn those songs. So don't forget to check out that video as well. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, even though it's a little bit different. And I hope it's given you a little bit more of an awareness of where you're at and how you currently learn things on the ukulele and just in general. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to check out my Buy Me a Coffee page, and I will see you the next time.